Hello, beautiful people. Hi, and welcome back to my channel today. We have our brother here from Burkina Faso. So he's going to tell us his name, and then we're going to get started. So let's keep on. Hello, bro. What's your name, please?
Hello, my name is Husseini.
Husseini, okay.
Yeah.
And you're from Burkina Faso?
I'm from Burkina Faso.
That's cool. That's wonderful. So, our brother today from Burkina Faso. Nice to have him. Please, how long you been here in Vienna?
In Vienna?
Yeah. Or in Austria, please?
Okay, in Austria is 3 years. Almost.
3 years you've been here?
Yeah.
Okay. 3 years you've been in Austria?
Yeah.
And what do you do?
I'm student.
You're a student?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you study?
I'm studying urban tourism and business economy management.
Economic management. Yeah, here in Vienna or in which city?
Here in Vienna.
Here in Vienna. And you live here in Vienna?
Actually, I live in both cities, Salzburg and Vienna.
Okay, you live in Salzburg
And Vienna.
and you're schooling in Vienna?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. That's cool. Yeah, and how is your studies going?
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Okay, and you enjoying Vienna, enjoying Austria?
Yeah, Vienna is a wonderful city.
That's fine. How do you see Austria anyway?
Yeah, Austria is really nice.
Speak up.
Austria is a really nice country.
Yeah.
I like the policies. I like the way how they run the countries.
Okay.
So I think it's comparing to other cities, I think it's one of the best.
Okay. Really? Okay then. And your students, your colleagues at your colleagues at in school, how do you let to them, both the Austrian, the white, or other foreigners from European Union and Africa or wherever they come from? How do you guys cope with each other?
The program that I'm doing, I think I'm only one African.
Really?
Yeah. So, and we are engaging. I'm open mind.
Okay.
So if I come, I just hello, bro.
Yeah.
Everything good.
So you have good understanding with them and everything's going on fine.
Yeah.
That's no problem.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So looking back home in Africa, particularly from Burkina Faso, where you come from, and you have a new president, this young guy who is making waves. Everyone seems to be so much in love with him. What can you say, a bit about him?
So, as I said, in the world now, we need the younger leaders.
Okay.
And this guy is a young leader.
Okay.
And young leader, he already knows the youth problems, because right now the majority of the population are the younger generation like us.
Okay.
And we are the one who's struggling in the country.
Okay.
So, and this guy, he already understood what we are looking for.
Okay.
And trying to face the challenges. That's why we really like him.
Backing him, okay?
Yeah.
So, I believe, the majority of guys in Burkina Faso likes him, although it won't be everyone, but I believe
The majority.
Of guys. Yeah, also likewise in Africa or in the whole world. We here in Europe, we hear a lot about him and things he's doing or trying to, the reforms he's trying to introduce and all that stuff, So, yeah, he's really doing well. Do you think maybe when he say, I'm gonna turn, because most of them after they come to power as a military, they stay like 1 or 2 years and then they try to go change themselves into a civilian to become a civilian president. Do you think when he got to this stage and he does that, will you still support him?
I think the guy, let me remind you something that he didn't. Honestly, he came by military coup, but he also got supported from the population.
Okay.
So, and like now,
the
population are willing for him to run the country for the next 10 years because they appreciate the policy that he's making.
Really? Okay.
So,
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And here in Europe, we a little black community. So we have our black sisters, we have our black brothers. Can you just tell me how you relate to both, to our black sisters and our black brothers, here?
Yeah, honestly, like for me, like I'm not feeling shame or shy to be a black. I love it.
Okay.
So sometimes I wake up in the morning, I look at my color, I kiss it because I love it. So
yeah.
if I also see my brothers or my sisters as Africans, I feel love with them. I greet them, we talk, bro, listen good, where are you from? So and the thing I'm okay with them.
You're okay with them?
Yeah.
Okay. The big truck is passing by. Let's hold on a bit. Okay. Yeah, we move on. So you relate so very well with our fellow blacks here, but particularly the ladies. Can you tell me, give me experience with the ladies? Our black ladies.
I don't have any girlfriend. I've never get in touch with black ladies.
Okay.
So if I say this, I might be lying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So really?
Yeah.
You got no contact with our black ladies?
No.
Up to now?
I don't have contact with any ladies.
Both white and black?
Yeah, both.
Why?
Because I'm looking for the long-term relationship, and I have the criteria that I'm looking for.
Okay.
So far I have never seen somebody who fits that criteria. So.
Really?
Yeah.
So, but if you don't try, how will you know?
It depends what kind of try, because so we come from different background, we have different culture,
yes.
We have different background of education, we have different beliefs.
Sure.
So for me, I think even though I'm looking for a friend, like girl, I want us like to be company. That is it.
Yeah.
So if he fit me, so we may try to move forward.
Okay. So that in a sense, you're talking about you're saying that you want someone for a long time relationship.
Yeah, for like getting married. I don't need someone like dating, and at the end you have to go your own way and go my own way.
Okay.
I'm not looking for that.
Okay, that is I mean, yeah, I can see your view in that. You know, that you want someone that is gonna be permanent, you know, and something serious. You don't want today and tomorrow it's all over. Yeah. Anyway, I won't say it's hard to come by. It's on your luck and on the woman you meet, and as you keep looking for, you don't want to jump into it, you know. You want to be really sure before you can say, that's cool, that's wonderful. And if you made up your mind, will it be a white or a black girl?
Really, I don't have to say that I'm looking for the black, I'm looking for the white. It doesn't matter. Any black or any white who fits to me, I'm ready to move forward.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. So, ladies, you hear him. So, yeah, and he's a cool guy, you know. Yeah. Yeah. So, bro, I'm sure you can tell us, you know, this 3 years you've been in Austria. Have you lived Austria to go to like Switzerland or Germany or any other place?
Yeah, I travel quite a lot in Europe.
Okay. Where, please?
I went to Switzerland, I went to Germany, I went to Netherlands, I went to France, I went to Belgium, I went to Slovakia, I went to Prague, I went to Prague, Czech Republic.
Prague, okay.
Yeah.
Czech, okay.
Majority of the countries I went.
Really? And in all these countries, you know, how long do you stay there? I just went on a visit?
2 days, 3 days as a visitor.
Okay, 2-3 days, you know.
Sometimes I have a project, so I just stay there.
Sometimes you have a project there to do, okay. And can you just tell us a bit about, you know, one of the countries you've been to? I mean, one or two of them that, okay, life, you see something there that you're not seeing in Austria, or...
Okay, for example, when I went to France, I feel like I'm in my, because I could speak French.
Exactly, sure.
I speak French, I speak Arabic.
Yeah, sure,
yeah. So when I went to France, I see a lot of people like, I feel like I'm in my country sometimes. Okay. Because I go to one neighborhood, I see like people speaking French, even some people speak my language.
Yeah.
So I feel like, I'm at home.
Okay.
Rather than here, honestly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That's good. That's your experience in France. Okay. So back here in Vienna, in Austria, in you are studying. Do you get any assistance from the government?
Honestly, I come through scholarship.
Through scholarship,
and
okay.
That is like diploma program 1 year.
Okay.
And that is over. So now I don't get any support from the government. I'm on my own.
Okay. That means, excuse me, you come on a scholarship from your country, being sponsored by your government?
No, from the government of Austria government.
From the government of Austria?
Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's very, very, very cool.
But it's only 1 year.
For 1 year, and
program.
after 1 year,
Yeah.
then you got to support yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, and now you're doing it.
Yeah, but it's a different program. For example, that one I come as a diploma. The contract is like 1 year program.
Yeah.
Then you graduate. I finished that one.
Okay.
And now I'm doing my master program.
You do your masters
Yeah.
now. Oh, cool, cool. And this support is from your family or from the government of Burkina Faso?
You mean my master program?
Yeah.
No, not on my own.
On your own, from your family?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That's wonderful. And after your studies, do you intend to stay back here or do you want to go back to Africa?
Honestly, in my plan, I'm not planning to stay here for long.
Okay.
After I graduate, I finish my programs, I'm willing to go home.
Okay. You're willing to go home to contribute, you know, to bring your knowledge, you know, to bear with
So
you.
I believe in Africa,
Yeah.
people like me really need support.
Yeah.
They really need education, and
Okay.
I believe whatever that I have been learning here,
Okay.
I can take
Impart it
these
on,
things
yeah.
to help my
Country.
friends, my brothers,
Okay.
to also get good education.
That is wonderful. Really, that's a very good thought you have. You know that you want to learn here and go back to Africa and translate what you learn from here to those and to your country that you can bring Africa up. Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah. So and when you still have how many years left to study?
By next year, like this time, I'm almost done.
Okay, by next year you will be done.
Yeah.
Okay, and when you're done next year, you going back home.
Yeah.
And then try to start something up in Burkina Faso. Will you be looking for government work or you go private?
No, in my plan, I'm not willing to work with the government unless if they want to work with me. So
See, okay,
I have my own project.
That's interesting,
I
yeah.
have my own business plan.
Okay.
So I'm going to work with these things, and I'm not going to seek for the job.
Yeah.
I'm going people who will seek job from me.
Okay.
That's my dream.
That is cool. That you're gonna be you're gonna be the one employing people
Yeah,
in
that's
your
my dream,
company.
yeah.
Oh, that is fine. That's wonderful. And in Africa, because most African leaders, they study here, they've been to Europe, they study in America, they've been to America, they've been in Australia, in Asia, they've been in the first world, and for a couple of years, of studying in Europe or in America, and finally they get back home to Africa, and I don't know, peradventure they find themselves, in power. And everything they learned in Europe and Americas, all the good things they see, how things function, everything, it kind of, when they get back to Africa swallowed them, they forget everything and then still continue the same way.
I think sometimes we anywhere you are, don't forget where you belong.
Okay.
So, and don't forget your starting point. Where did you start from?
Okay.
So if you remember these two things, I think you will never betray your country. You will never be harmful to your population.
Yeah.
Yeah, you will never be harmful to your population. You will be kind to the people, whatever, how position you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because why I ask this question because I've seen a lot. It makes me feel so bad that our African leaders, they even those who didn't go to school here in Europe, but they do come here on medical checkup. They do come on vacations, on holidays. They see how Europe functions very well, America functions very well. But why can't they translate this to Africa? Make Africa a little bit to come up.
I also think sometimes they have been manipulated.
How?
I don't know how to say this, but it's what I feel.
That's how you feel.
Okay, for example, let's say how you can give your authorization to shoot your people in your country.
Okay.
So unless if your brain is really working. For example, let's say I grew up in Burkina.
Okay.
I have a friend there, my family is there. I become the president of the country.
Yes.
And I'm giving authority to shoot these people by guns that they bought by their own money.
Yes.
So unless, first of all, if I have been manipulated or something.
By the people or by foreign powers?
By foreign powers.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting, okay.
So that
That's what you think?
Sometimes, what I think.
Okay.
I might be wrong, but it's what I think.
Yeah, that's not only you. A lot of people say this too, but you know, what I'm still saying is, it's two ways. I can make my country good. I can be there for myself.
Yeah.
So I'm just asking, why can't they just try to make the country good a little bit? You know, I mean, try to help the countries they are heading. You know, because everywhere is still the same cry, the same thing. You know, people not living well. You know, there is no energy, no power in Africa, no good drinking water, and they no good roads. You know, so this is what I'm asking, because now you're studying here.
Yeah.
Because I can see maybe tomorrow you will be in a position of power. So that's why I'm putting this question to you, because we don't know tomorrow. We might still come across each other. So now I will hold you accountable if you don't do.
Okay.
You know, if you find yourself in power and you don't do any of it, because you've seen how life is going on here. So that's why I'm asking you this question. Do you? But anyway, let's move on. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger Republic, they have all cut ties with France, their colonial master, and try to forge ahead with this Sahel union. How do you see that union?
I see.
And cutting ties with France.
I see the union, the old project, what I believe. The union make people stronger. For example, here we have European Union, which is one of the strongest community, I can say like that.
In the world.
Yeah, in the world. And I think these people, they did not, how to say, did not stop the relation between them and France. They only need to renew they need to renew the relationship terms.
Yeah.
So, but they didn't cut the relationship. They're still working together. For example, we should have French people in my country.
Okay.
We should have French embassy in my country.
Wow.
There
good.
is also French embassy in Mali. But they need, only our people need to renew the terms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That only they want.
That's what they want. Okay. So they want to renew how they work with France.
Yeah. They want to, for example, there is some contract have been made like 70 years ago or 30 years ago. So, and the world is changing. We cannot like the rules have been made like 30 years ago and 50 years ago want to apply to now. It doesn't work. So we have to change. The world has been changing. The rules also need to be changed. The contract also have to be changed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's wonderful. That's interesting. Yeah. Back here in Europe, you know, we have our people here who lives here in Europe have a way of lives here. You know, those who live in Italy, who live in Swiss, who live in Austria, in Germany, in Hungary, in Belgium, in France. You know, and people back home in Africa, they think and they see from the things they hear from brothers here like us, you know, and from what they see also, they feel okay here. When I can find my way to Europe, I think all my problems or all I'm aspiring to get in life, I will achieve them. I will get them. And to come to Europe, they tend to dispose, get rid of everything they have to raise money to make the journey to Europe or to the Americas, thinking that they're gonna have a better life. So what will you say to these kind of people who are thinking this?
Okay, as my own experience, for example, honestly speaking, I can say Austria is most developed than my country.
Sure.
It's not like I'm disrespecting my country, it's the fact.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but if I am in Austria, I feel a lot of stress compared to my country.
Really?
You get it? Even though it's one of the most advanced country, I still have a lot of stress compared to my country, even though my country is poor.
Really?
Because no time here. You have to study, you have to get to work. So if you are not studying, you are in the work, you have to pay rent, you have to do these things. It's not easy. You should know these challenges before you come. And doesn't just put in your mind coming to Europe or going to US or going to abroad, you're going to be succeed. There is like a lot of challenges that you are going to face. So, but it depends on your situation. If my friends, like if I go home and my friends ask me, how is in Europe? Is it good? I ask, how is your situation here? Are you working? how how much do you make per month?
Yeah.
So for example, he told me per month I make 200 euro comparing to euro. I said, okay, maybe that if you go to Austria as a student, you will make like 800 euro per month, and you pay your rent, and you pay your transportation, and maybe you'll be able to save like 400 euro.
Okay.
So if you really want that,
Yeah.
you are welcome. So if you know that is good for you, it's okay. I tell you this like honest. If you know, like, but if you are really working and you start up your own business, you have your own shop, you have your own mini market, which is really good. I think, in my own idea, I think you should stay there and don't just sell it and just borrow money. Just want to come here. I think if you stay there and focus and be honest and really work hard, the one who come to Europe look for better life, maybe you will be succeed more than them.
Yeah.
If you have that will in your mind.
Okay.
Yeah, let's say some people like you have to like borrow like almost like how to say like 4,000 euro coming to Austria.
Yeah.
If you have business mindset, you take that 4,000 euro, you start the mini market in your neighborhood.
Okay.
You really focus.
Okay.
You apply the economics rules.
Okay.
I believe that after 10 years, you're going to be succeed more than the one who come to Europe.
Really?
Because if you come to Europe, this is not your home. What if you stay here for long? Even though I stay here in Europe like 10 years,
Okay.
it's not my home. I'm just blaming myself. Even though I get the citizenship,
Okay.
I'm not belong here,
Okay.
honestly.
Okay.
So you still need to go home, and if you go home and you don't have business mindset, even though you get like 70K here, and you go home, you have to start from zero.
Sure. So that you know everything boils down to having the business acumen.
Yeah.
Is that you start something in Africa, you can manage it and then grow it. You know.
Yeah.
And instead of coming here, you should try that instead of disposing your things to
Yeah.
come to Europe.
Of course.
Okay.
I always give advice to my friends. If you want to come to Europe or if you want to go to US or Canada, please look at your current situation. What is your situation?
That's a very good advice.
Are you working now? How much you make per month? If you want to come to Europe, how many money will you borrow from your people?
Okay.
And imagine, let's say you borrow 4,000 euro
Yeah.
to come to Austria, example.
Yeah.
And for the first 3 months, you have to be sure you're not gonna get job
Exactly. Yeah.
because you don't speak the language.
Sure.
So maybe it will take you 1 year to pay your money back that you borrow,
Yeah.
and then you start saving.
Okay.
So what about if you took that 4K that you borrowed? If you have that one and you start step by step, I believe it's going to be succeed rather than coming here.
Okay.
Is what I believe.
That's a very good
But
advice.
let's say some people also they don't have that.
Yeah,
They-
it's-
for example, some people they just got the scholarship opportunity like me. If that is the case, you are welcome.
That's wonderful. That's cool. Yeah, that's very good advice. You know, because guys, you know, you hear what he said, so it's up to you. Then let's move on again. Some guys, you know, here too, because you know our program is all about focusing on our blacks here in Europe. You know how we're gonna better our lives. You know, so some guys they live here, and when they feel it's time to get married, you know, they look around. Probably they look, and they say, "Okay, I ain't seen no good sister here. You know, it's better I go back to Africa to marry." You know, or yeah, some those who go to Africa to get married, and then once they marry, they leave their wife in Africa and come back to Europe. Do you think it's a good idea to marry and leave your wife there or your husband in Africa and come back alone?
It depends on let's say it depends on your situation.
Yeah.
Let's say if you are a student, and you get married and you want to bring your wife here, it will be very, very challenging.
Okay.
But if you're already living here like 5 years, 7 years, and you are already working as a full time, so I think it will be a good idea to bring your wife here. So
Okay.
you will be really, really sustained.
Okay.
Because when you leave your wife at home, it's kind of stress. So you have to send the money. You have to like keeping feeding her. As
But
is your duty.
what if you don't have papers to bring your wife or your spouse anyway?
So let's say you don't have papers to
Yeah, to bring your partner over.
bring your partner over.
And
So how did you come here?
No, you come.
Uh-huh.
You know, you are here, and you have the papers, you have the visa, you can stay, you have the resident to stay in Europe, but you can't bring your wife. It doesn't, the papers are different. You can have the one to stay or to study, but it doesn't qualify or doesn't permit you to bring someone over. And then if you have passport, for example, if you have an Australian passport, then you can bring your wife over or your husband over. But if you don't have a passport and you only have visa, a resident to live in Austria, and you want to marry, you get down to Africa, you get married there, you leave your wife over down there or your husband down there, maybe you go home 1 or twice in a year, and then later on you get in report that your wife or your man is messing up in Africa. How will you feel about that?
That's very sad. That is really, really sad. And what I can say is like being honest. Honestly, before you get married with the wife,
okay,
you have to tell your wife the truth.
Okay.
I'm going to get you married, but honestly, I can't bring you to Austria.
Yeah.
I can't bring you to Europe. I can't bring you to where I'm living because my situation now does not allow me to bring you as a wife.
Okay.
So you make the agreement before we get married. If she says yes, of course I'm gonna get married, but I will stay in Africa. And please, you also don't forget me. Each month you also need to give me this kind to support myself. So everything starts at the beginning. So if you come here also, you have to be honest with yourself.
Okay.
If you meet somebody like that, you have to be true. I already have a wife at home. I love her. So she also loves me. So I don't want to misbehave. I think that we should do.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much, Mr. Husseini. It's been wonderful talking to you. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
a lot. Thanks. Yeah.